All right, now, Rick, I don't know if you happened to catch The Daily Show last night, but something that Jon Stewart said certainly caught my eye.
We bought $100 worth of pennies and started to stack them until we got this, the $3.7 trillion budget. Each one of these stacks of 5 pennies represents $2 billion.
That doesn't help us in any way. Let me do a quick impression for you of an employee at ABC World News. Went to Columbia University, I got a master's degree in journalism, and now I'm just stacking pennies to make a pie chart? Are you kidding me?
I don't know. Listen here, Jon Stewart. You can mess with me, that's fine. But don't mess with our people. Let me tell you, this right here, take a look at these guys. This is a tough crowd. They take their pennies seriously. Some of them have degrees from Columbia University. That is true. But don't mess with them.
And if I can do a quick impersonation of an employee of The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, I went to college so I can work for a psychology major from the College of William and Mary who dresses like this. Yes, that's right. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Stewart. We appreciate it. We appreciate the love for our little
And come back here on Top Line to answer for this anytime.
All right. We're now joined up on Capitol Hill by Carl Hulse, a longtime congressional reporter for the New York Times. I like to call him the mayor of Capitol Hill, but I'm not sure if he likes that title. Carl, you had a really interesting story today. Speaker Boehner says he's basically okay with losing votes on the floor of the House. Have you ever seen a leadership style? Do you think it's true? Do you think he actually doesn't mind an occasional setback?
I do. He's you know, we all know Speaker Boehner. He's sort of old school. He's got a vision for the way the House should run. He's been here for 20 years, and he thinks everybody should get out on the floor and fight it out. And I think it's legitimate when he says that he's comfortable with it. You know, they lost a few votes last week. I thought it was interesting because, as you guys know, we all used to wait around and see if a rule would go down, or when Tom DeLay was running things, or even Nancy Pelosi. It was a big deal when they lost. These guys have now lost a few votes. It's only a few weeks, so they think they've got that monkey off their back. They're willing to let it play out.
It's wild to watch. You have this, you know, this open amendment process. They've got 500 some amendments that have been submitted.
Yeah, there's 200 some left, I think.
So when was the last time we saw something like this where people can just bring amendments up?
I think back in the previous days of Democratic rule, they used to do appropriations bills more like this. You know, they would spend weeks on one bill and let people come to the floor and offer whatever they wanted, read through the bill. So in a way, it's going back to that tradition. I think John said earlier, you have to give him credit. To me, it's kind of refreshing, you know, and you get unexpected results. You get coalitions forming that aren't partisan. You know, the past, 8 years, I would guess that it's been so partisan up here that it's just been locked in. Now you have freshman Republicans banding together with, senior liberal Democrats to knock out a jet engine. You know, it's fun to watch.
Well, how much of this, Carl, is open leadership versus the circumstances? I mean, if you try to corral these freshman Democrats, yeah,
right. I do think it's both, but Speaker Boehner and Majority Leader, when he was Majority Leader, he's talked about this for a long time. This is definitely what he had planned to do, but the circumstances are driving it. I don't really know if you could get all these people to do what you expected them to do anyway. I know right now they're having a hard time. They would like to finish this up today, but they're having a hard time getting people to drop duplicative amendments, right? Because they've got a couple hundred left. They'll probably be going into the early morning hours today, and they'd like people to pull back, but everybody wants their shot now.
Hey, I thought I heard this morning from the Speaker an explicit threat about the debt ceiling. He said that unless we have serious reform in how we go about our spending and some serious cuts, that they are not going to respond to the president's request to increase the debt ceiling. What's behind that? It seems that this has, of course, been a dance they've had for a while, but that seemed to be a pretty explicit threat this morning.
Right. I think that is also to bring some people along, right, on some of these amendments. And this particular spending bill, like if we don't get everything we want this time, we've got another chance coming up. I noticed Mike Lee, I think in the Senate, said he's going to filibuster the debt limit. So, there's going to be a lot of fights over the next few weeks. I do think one thing you do one thing that happens with this free-for-all that they're having right now, it's hard to have an end game, right? They're not going to have they're not going to have time to make a deal with the Senate. So then do you do a temporary CR? Well, the Speaker says, well, we won't do even a 30-day without some cuts. Will the Democrats agree to cuts? I know Senate Democrats are meeting today to talk about how they would do this temporary extension. So you've got a lot going on, and it's very unpredictable right now, which does make it hard to manage sort of what the outcome's going to be.
All right, Carl Hulse from the New York Times. Really appreciate you being with us.
Guys.
Thanks for being here on Top Line. All right, thanks. Well, John, interesting about the threats. I do think it's both circumstances for John Boehner. He knows he can't control these guys if he wanted to, so maybe it's okay to lose occasionally.
But it is fascinating to watch. I mean, the last time we released, you have to get to Tip O'Neill days.
That's right.
This is the people's house, and it is kind of refreshing to watch. We'll see if it spins out of control for the Speaker. I'm told the vote on this final thing could be at 5 o'clock this morning, and that may be optimistic.
That sounds like fun. All right, that's it for this edition. Twitter.com/Rick Klein, Twitter.com/John Carl. Did you like the pennies? I want more. Give me more change.
I mean,
cash that in.
It's unbelievable.
Cash.